And we're live. Welcome, everybody, to the Tipped and Sip podcast with your hosts, Cade Alvarez and
Jarod Sturridge.
Oh, I hope you all had a lovely weekend. This will be coming out on Wednesday. I don't know what day. I don't really care to know what day, but it's coming out on a Wednesday, as per usual. I'm feeling rather good. I've been consuming so much media. Me and you, we forgot to talk about this. We saw Dune.
Yeah, we did.
We saw Timothee Chalamet be a white knight ghostly character, ill character,
but kind of like a vampire. It was beautiful.
He is a vampire.
Yeah, but he's very sexless. You know what I mean? He doesn't have much of a sexual energy to him.
No,
but that's good in some ways.
Kind of like whatever those things are from like Harry Potter. Those like things that like go around and they suck people's soul.
He's like a Dementor.
He's like a Dementor.
Yeah. And he's a decent actor. Yeah. I've been getting more content of his, like, you know, like videos of his acting reels and whatever. And like he's good. Sometimes I don't believe it. Sometimes I don't buy it. I'm like, oh, he's like, you know, really cheesing up. Like he's really like making it a little extra dramatic and doesn't seem like it's coming from him.
I love him in Lady Bird.
In Lady Bird, he's fucking hilarious.
He's so funny. But you know why he's so good in Lady Bird? Because that's him. He wasn't actually acting. They just told him to show up. And they're like, hey, can you hang out in this parking lot and like talk to this girl?
Can you smoke spirits really quick? Can you like look really greasy and gaunt?
Yeah.
Can you like disrespect her?
And just was like doing what
somebody called them. They were like, I know a guy who's like a piece of shit who could like come and do this. But people don't know that that's like a satire. That movie is like satirical. Some people were like, I didn't like that movie. It was like kind of like, it was cheesy. I was like, what do you mean? And they're like, well, it was really like cliche, like Gen Z kind of, and I was like, because it's supposed to be like that.
That's the movie. Yeah. And then those same people would be like, I love Breakfast Club. Breakfast Club is so good. I love it. I really like when they get high in the library. That's so cool.
They just can break everything. Smoke up, Johnny. Fucking
God. And then like Zendaya's in like a makeup commercial the entire time during that movie.
Yeah, dude, that was kind of cool actually. I did like.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was, because it got cooler as his visions got crazier. For those of you who haven't seen the movie, he has like visions, he has hallucinations.
Zendaya's in it. It would have been cool if she would just turn. She's like, it's CoverGirl, and then just like.
Should we cut off our last names the way Zendaya has? What? She did like a Beyonce thing where like she just like when they do press releases,
it's just
like press tours, it's just Zendaya on her name tag. No. I think that she's just called Zendaya. Is that true? Is that?
I'll look it up.
We should do that.
What about like and then we'll get even worse and be a symbol like Prince. Like we won't even have the name. It will just be the symbol.
Oh, that's peak. That's like really.
No, it's fucking cringe.
I think it'd be kind of
people
cool.
Need that to have it's not a big deal. It's not a.
What if your last name was dumb like O'Boyle?
You don't have to rub it in.
No, come on.
Mine's not much better.
Yeah, Sturridge.
How am I supposed to like
block
say that?
Rat? Like, what are we talking about? At least, you know, the Irish are for politicians. You get to stay in like little Slovenia, New York. You fucking pig. What are we talking about?
I come from the village.
No, it's okay. It's no one's fault. I get it.
You do have the coolest last name here. You and Kozak kind of compete for the coolest last names.
Almaraz. What are we looking at? It's just Zendaya?
It's just Zendaya.
On Wikipedia, it also just says Zendaya.
So she did cut it off. I wonder what her last name was.
It says here.
Marie Stormer Coleman.
Zendaya Coleman. I get it.
Zendaya's cool enough. You don't need it.
What's her background? Can we look at it? Can we go to the early life section, please? Interesting. Who is this woman? I mean, like, we know who she is.
Yeah, she popped up and then she just kind of like was everywhere. Feel like
she was like a Disney Channel,
right?
Yeah, because
show.
Yeah, because it was her and fucking the other girl. Who was it? It was Zendaya and Zoe. No, who was it? She's on OnlyFans now. Can we? Damn, what was the show? It was a Disney
It
show.
should say here, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I can't see.
No, it's gonna be higher.
Jared's
It's
head's in
go
the
up,
way.
go up higher. Shake It. I think it was.
Shake It Up.
It was Shake It
That
Up.
was a Disney show. They were dancing and singing.
Who was she? She played. Where can we find? Where's Shake It Up? What the? I'm pissed. I'm so upset. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Who cares?
No, because I wanted to
really
make the
don't
joke
care,
because the
but-
Zendaya went to fucking Dune and the other one went to OnlyFans. I mean, that was the split. And I can't remember the fucking woman's name, but she pissed everyone off because she made an OnlyFans and like she made like $2 million in a day.
Bella
Oh,
Thorne.
wow.
Bella Thorne.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then she didn't even show no nip, bro. People were pissed.
Yeah,
They're
they were like, she posted only photos that like you would just post on an Instagram, and then people like paid money for that.
and then they put the cap on it.
Yeah.
They put the wealth cap on it.
Yeah.
They're like, we can't have you making that much with no nip.
No, we're running a business here.
Yeah.
We're trying to run a website.
They're like,
here.
we know what we are. Remember when they
You
were like,
don't.
we're gonna ban? They were like, we're gonna ban pornographic content, and it was like, they're like, some intern had to be like, hey, that's like 90% of what we do. Like, you're talking about the whole thing. That's like,
and then Twitter was like, we still have nudity. You can do whatever you want.
right? You
People
don't
can
even-
just fuck on Twitter. It's crazy. I knew a guy back in the day, like in high school, who like he came out as gay, and he like really had no hope in his heart for like finding like a good dude to like date, because like at that school nobody really like was openly like was out or anything. And he would tell me like, he was like, dude, Twitter is where I really find some crazy shit. And I was like, what do you mean? You can have that on Twitter? And he's like, yeah, like it's good. That's where I find the best gay, like just scenes. I'm like, wow. I was blown away. I had to look up myself, and it was interesting.
Well, OnlyFans and Twitter are like
married.
yeah, it's like the same. It's like the same platform and everything.
Twitter's the
Oh,
front
wow.
for OnlyFans.
Yeah, like you need you need your Twitter to be popping off like before you launch it on OnlyFans. Like
Yeah,
that's
I
kind of
see.
like the
Yeah.
thing.
You gotta
'Cause
show.
you get people into your OnlyFans from Twitter.
Yeah, because people to be like, you are willing to show nip for free? Oh, now there's a paywall. And you're like, I'm in. You're like, you know what? I got the hits, but I want the classics. It's fine. I have no problem with it. I don't really care. If people want to sell images of themselves online,
it's
good
not
for
really
them.
the time right now to be like a moralist about that. People kind of need to make money somehow right now.
And people need to be able to buy it.
Yeah.
Listen, it's
Yeah.
fine. Have you ever bought an OnlyFans? Be
No,
honest.
I've considered once buying OnlyFans. I can't remember who it was. It was some podcaster that I thought had an OnlyFans. I don't remember.
So not for porn.
No, it was for porn.
It was for porn.
But they did like a podcast, and I was into it. And I was like, and then I saw their Twitter, and I was like, that'd be good.
Yeah, for quick tip, all those women have Reddits that they
Right.
don't know exist. Quick tip.
Yeah, the iPhone 12 screenshot is you press the lock button and the top volume button, buddy.
You're gonna pirate porn. Arg. OnlyFans pirate porn. Listen, we gotta move on for this. What we also I saw last night I saw Last Night in Soho. Last night I saw Last Night in Soho, which is very good because the actress is in it that I really like. The one who from Queen's Gambit. I like her as an actress.
Oh, I know her name.
Yeah.
I don't know her name. I know her though. She's great. She's weird. Like she's like a weirdly like
She's the female
freaky
Timothee
actor.
Chalamet, bro.
Yeah, but she's I think she's a better actor than.
Actress.
That's not a real word.
Is it not?
It's not actually a real word. Believe me.
Bryce, is actress not a real word? Can we get the
Yes, it's real word.
No, it's made. It's not.
Can we
it's
please
not
get
proper.
the dictionary up? Can we fact check this guy?
It doesn't need to be a word. I mean, like it's not like a real kind of word.
Dude, we're going to see what
You know.
Merriam-Webster has to say about that, though.
They can lick my balls. I really don't give a fuck.
But the
I
movie was
never
good.
met him.
The
Yeah.
movie was good, psychological thriller. I went Stony Baloney to it, so it made it even better. Thank you. All right, we're done. And
I don't buy it. Sorry, guys.
but yeah, it was a good movie. I just movies are dying. The theater experience is dying, and it's really too bad because you look at like the showtimes for last night in Soho, where there was like 2 showtimes for it, and the Marvel's Eternals had like 12, and it's so. Have you seen the commercials for Marvel the Eternals? It's embarrassing.
There was one I think before Dune.
It's so bad. Like we need to stop. Marvel needs to rein it in.
Well, what's maybe good is that the people who made Dune is largely connected to people who make Marvel. But Dune is kind of a bridge between that brainless blockbuster,
right,
and like a more intense like sci-fi, human story.
I want a good Marvel movie, but I want Hans Zimmer to do the soundtrack for a Marvel movie.
Yeah, that'd be
badass.
That would be good, and that's that's my favorite thing about Dune was the soundtrack.
The music,
honestly.
Did you know that there's actually for musicians, there's actually synth packs that you can get that Hans Zimmer has curated.
Yeah, they're literally called it's like Hans Zimmer strings or his Hans Zimmer orchestra or something.
Yeah, and you get there's 3 packs. So there's one that's literally $750, but you get hundreds of shit, and it's movie level. Well, because I would like to do that because for people who don't know, another way for musicians to make money is called sync licensing. And sync licensing is where you purely make music for the intent that it'll be in commercials, TV, or movies. And I think it really would be cool if some point in our music career we made a whole album with the intent for it to be in movies, not for playing live. And we used a lot of Hans Zimmer-esque stuff because we could make some crazy stuff doing that.
I mean, that's my goal at the end of music. I want to get to the point where I can do that. I put on my Instagram, I was like, it'd be nice if I was the next Hans Zimmer.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Maddie actually about that because there's weird. Yeah, there's our friend Maddie. There's weird similarities between what he's made for soundtracks and what I've made for soundtracks. Yeah. I made some play soundtracks
because you technically have experience in doing that, which is cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And I actually made the first one I ever made was for The Little Prince, which was a story built into a play. And Hans Zimmer, one of his early ones, I think a couple of years, actually not early, but a decent time ago, he made one for The Little Prince too.
Wow.
Mine's better. Clearly. I made it on GarageBand. It's clearly superior.
I didn't even master it, but it's clearly better.
Nope.
But yeah, I would like to do stuff I would also like to get into making a music for video games.
Yeah. We could. Really people definitely tell us people who be showing our music, they say some of the stuff sounds video game-esque. Right. They've said that about my electronic stuff too before. And I was once talking to a kid who goes to Madison, and he knows he's really tight with people in the video game part of this, the gaming part of the school, that kind of designing. And he was there's so many people who are part of the process of making a game that and especially the sound design of it is that you could literally work your way into it the same way you work your way into film, being a PA or being some sort of what's the guy who holds the mic? What are they? Or the
boom operator.
Boom operator, somebody or a gaffer. You can work your way into it like that.
I'd love to do that. Well, I'd love to have a music career and then turn to people I know how to make music. Let me do pay me.
Yeah.
I will make me
9 Inch Nails.
Me and you would make the best indie game soundtrack for a farm life.
Oh yeah.
Just some
or Terraria. It's over, dude.
It's over. If the boss would come out and we would just have all these arpeggiating synthesizer, it'd be we put in 7/8 too, just to make it even weirder,
just to fuck with people.
And in the back we just have these percussions, just bum 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 bum.
We would buy the Hans Zimmer percussion pack, and just throw those in there and make it really crazy.
People are this is a 2D game. This shit's going hard as fuck, dude.
This shit is 5D music right now.
We have a clock going in the background,
in Dunkirk, we're just freaking them out.
People are having panic attacks trying to fight this boss to our music. They have to pause the game this is way too much right now. Because our goal would just to make people overstimulated. So when people think about how hard video games are, instead of the bosses being hard, you should make the other parts of the atmosphere as challenging. So it's you go from one headspace to now like, oh my God, I'm so stressed out because of this music. Like, not only am I trying to focus on beating this boss who's throwing all these projectiles, I'm trying to use like my weapons and shit like that, but this music is making my heart beat really quickly and is like making me nervous to play against this guy. Like, I would want people, like, if I had music in a video game, I want people to like be like visually like stressed.
Yeah, like they're tense, they're white knuckled.
Yeah, they got to be in, and it's like, this is the challenge. That would be badass.
Because you can funnel music into the story of the game. Like, you can really make it like work towards whatever that scene is trying to do. And they did that in Dune.
Right.
Like, the soundtrack of Dune gives you the feeling that it gives you the feeling of inevitability.
Right.
Because the story is about this inevitable change coming to the characters.
Right.
And it builds the entire movie. But that's the music helps that happen. And the same way you would do that with a game. Help the person be like flight or flight during like this huge battle or shit like that.
What if like during a boss sequence you write like polyrhythm stuff, or where the drums, or like even where the drums go off beat, so like their mind hears it and they're like, fuck, they're like just screwed with me. The soundtrack is like trolling me.
You do that when the character gets like damage.
Right.
You know? And they're like, oh,
that'd be cool.
They like seize out. Fucking that'd be fucking cool.
Let's go to the news.
Speaking about music,
I want to talk about Biden. We never talk about politics on this podcast.
No, why don't we go into Astroworld out of music?
Go from music to yeah, that was crazy. Tragedy at the,
last night.
No, it was
that 2 days ago?
2 nights ago at the Astroworld Fest in Atlanta. Was it Atlanta? Yeah, very sad.
Or was it in Houston?
Oh, I think it might have been in Texas.
Definitely in Texas, because that's where he's from.
Is it?
And that's where Astroworld, the park, was. That's where it's at.
This New York Times article wants me to sign in.
Bastards.
Bastards. Oh my God.
I'm going to do just a different
But we know what happened. I mean, it was someone told me now the death toll is up to 11 with that. There was a stampede at Travis Scott's Astrofest while he was performing, and people were crushed. I mean, literally crushed. There was multiple people in cardiac arrest. From what we know, it seemed like the festival was understaffed when it came to security. There's a video. Here we go. Astroworld criminal investigation into Texas festival crowd surge. At least 8 people died and hundreds more were hurt after crowd surge on the opening night of the music event. The victims were aged between 14 and 27. Some of their identities have started to be publicly released. Police are also investigating reports that somebody in the audience was injecting people with drugs. Yeah, did you hear that?
No, I didn't.
They had a security guard that was trying to help someone, and he felt a prick in his neck, and they had to give him Narcan.
Oh, Jesus
There was
Christ.
multiple people had to be administered with Narcan. They thought that there was I saw someone in the comments at TikTok, and this really could not sum up this fucking event more. The devil was in that crowd. The devil was at Astroworld. I mean, the video of the people charging the security gate. Did you see that? The people running. I mean, jumping over the security, knocking things down, people falling over yourselves. Just people without tickets just said, "Fuck it, we're getting into this thing."
Do you want that video?
Is there a video? Yeah, I want to.
There's definitely probably a video of them running to the fence.
Yeah, hold on.
You got okay. Yeah.
It's insanity. I mean, this is horrendous. I mean, our hearts go out to the victims, but
there's some weird stuff with him. We'll talk about that.
Look at this. It's insanity.
So it's like a split in the fence, but most of the fence isn't down, and people like are falling and tripping on a fence because you get fucking stuck.
And this isn't even like the thing that was like led to the deaths.
People don't even realize.
This is right before that.
Do you know what's going on here? People have their fingers and shit stuck in this fence, and people are walking on top of them.
Yeah. The amount of probably broken fingers, like cuts, wounds. This is just to get into the park.
Fucking acting like this is ridiculous. I mean, guys, it's a music festival. It's not that big of a deal. Look at that. I mean, that's just stupid. Wow.
what are we doing?
This is what happened. I mean, this is what happened. This is what happens when the government only gives like 2,000 people for COVID relief, no health insurance. People just want to, you know what I mean? They get the moment to fucking act like animals. Let some chaos come on. They take it. They take the chance.
So that can be good. We talked about how you need to have that at a show. And when we went to we went to see Slow Pulp the other day. We were pissed that there wasn't enough energy in the crowd. People like really just letting loose. And we were talking about mostly because like people are just scared from COVID. People have just softened and like gotten super timid about shit.
But this is moronic.
Right, but this isn't a weird. This is a whole different setting where there's 50,000 people.
Well, I saw a lot of people who were like, "This is Travis Scott's fault." I have no idea to what degree. So this is just people literally just on the ground, paramedics. There was an ambulance in the crowd, driving in the crowd, trying to get people. I have no clue. Supposedly, he didn't stop the concert when he should have. I gotta be honest. I'm gonna give him a little slack. I'm not going to defend him here. I think there's a lot of blame everywhere on everyone's part in this. It's horrendous. Festivals are dangerous. They have never not been dangerous. Like, you look up Woodstock 95, dude. Like, there was women being raped in the crowd as the concerts were happening. Like, they reported like 13 rapes at the Woodstock 95 concert. Wow. In the crowd. There's like videos where finally the police like were like looking in those circles and you can see like a little hole like in the crowd.
You mean 99?
Sorry, Woodstock 99. Horrendous. I mean, festivals fucking people act dumb. They expect to see like this world-class performers and they fucking people, they spend a lot of money and I get it, but I mean, there's a lot of drugs involved. There's a lot of people with ill will intentions. There's a lot of alcohol involved. I mean, the Smashing Pumpkins concert that got canceled, people rioted. Like, we're burning cars and flipping them over and shit. Like, when you take that many people, you put them in the same place, you're going to get a lot of bad apples. And when people have opportunities to cause recklessness and get away with it, people take the opportunity. I was reading that when it comes to, like, stampedes meeting, like, a gate, that it takes on average the pressure of 6 humans to be able to bend steel. So like, if everyone runs in the same direction, that that it comes down. I mean, that fence comes down.
My uncle was he sort of worked with police back in the I want to say this was the 60s. He was in Chicago working with the police. He was part of a different federal organization, and he was observing a riot happening, some sort of riot happening, and I think it was a workers' strike kind of thing. And there was this fence, just like a chain link kind of fence that was built on us to cut off the protests from a certain side of the city. And there were people up against that fence. I mean, it was thousands of people altogether. And the people on that part of the fence had to get up and start yelling, "Don't push. Don't push," because they were starting to push people through, and people were squeezing, like people were almost like dicing through. They were getting cut up going through the fence. What's funny is though that there was reporters there, obviously, and news kind of filming, and they edited the audio of somebody who was yelling "Don't push," saying "Push, push."
Right.
You know, like it's not a good when you look at like this Astroworld thing. You were saying, like, when you put a bunch of these people in the same place who are all motivated and excited and just like kind of in a new reality, going to see a concert, going to this huge festival. I mean, that's why it's crazy. That's why it's dangerous, because people are kind of losing their minds. They're in a different reality. I mean, that's cool, but like that's also really
it gets dangerous.
It gets dangerous, and my mind goes to like, what are they surrounding? Like, what are they actually gathering around? What is this idol that they're this frequency and the music and that bass and like the visual?
He's literally like a hype artist. The point of him going to those shows is to go wild. Like,
and it's to the point where people a lot of people think it's like demonic in a lot of ways.
Well, it's like
a low energy kind of thing.
You who knows? I mean, you've heard so many speculations that he didn't stop it. He knew what was going on. And there's clearly a video of him going like, there's someone passed out like right there. He's like, stop the show. And it's like, we need to step back and like there is first of all, Travis Scott didn't put on the festival. Like it's his name on it, but like it's Live Nation. It's the millions of dollars that goes into that event. Those people who control the money, who like do security, food, emergency. Do you know how big that insurance bill is? Like, do you know how big that insurance plan is for when people, on the horrendous chance that people die? They had 8 people who died. Like, someone's paying out.
11. No, it's bigger now, I guess.
So you know how many, like, someone's paying out. Like, that show just lost millions upon millions of dollars. Not that I'm trying to put, like, the financial. I'm just saying, like,
you're saying the responsibility falls to like a larger network.
Is huge. Yeah. I mean, these events are huge. And I don't know.
All the more reason why that shouldn't have happened, though.
Well, I mean, I also don't get why people are even going to shows where there's 50,000 fucking people. What are you gonna do? Like, you see, everyone has like their phones out and like sits in the middle of a crowd.
It actually is kind of dumb.
It's stupid. It's dumb.
That kind of sounds like a waste of like probably probably $500 to go there.
Right.
Do you know what the ticket prices are? I bet it's over 150.
I bet the 2-day pass. I bet is $300.
Oh, yeah.
2-day pass. Is
a lot of rave festivals get up to like $500-$600 for like 3 days. You know.
And you have to wonder, like, obviously the music has a big effect of it because it's these EDM festivals are not having people drop at them. Electric Forest isn't having this problem. You know what I mean?
But yeah, there's so many festivals that like this doesn't happen at, you know, like, right. Yeah, there are always health issues. There's always like, you know, people that take too much drugs or, you know,
right.
Logistics mess ups. But like, this is like super irresponsible.
Right. I mean, go to Summerfest, dude. All day you'll just see cops arresting people, ambulances taking people away. I mean, all day that will be happening.
We're kind of like, this country's on hospice care right now. Like we have hundreds, if not thousands, of designated places where people can go and take too much drugs, hyperventilate, pass out, get assaulted, assault others, like stampede, get fucked up, forget who they are, stampede, smash into each other,
get their shit stolen,
like get arrested. Die now. You can go and you can die listening to some weird like 808 frequency that's just fucking up your soul. I'm sorry. That's just, I believe that with some of the, I've seen heard some EDM artists where like the video played on Twitter, like somebody sent me it and I turned it off and I was having like heart palpitations. I was like, why is this so dark? Like,
there's some shows I've been to where like you're in the middle of it and you're looking at the visuals that they're playing on the boards and it's like dark shit.
They want demons to come out of people, dude.
And it feels dark.
They want demons.
Well, if you look at the fucking the stage, the backdrop behind Travis Scott, I've been seeing a lot of people comparing it to how the CERN Hadron Collider looks.
You're done.
I'm definitely on that side of TikTok, dude. That is the most interesting thing to me.
Well, no, people want to, because this is the thing. There's a psychology to this, because when you have everyone in like this mindset, everyone's brains kind of clicking away, and then
they sync.
The rage comes out, dude. The animal, that fucking reptile, the fucking eyes go black type shit. People will go nuts, and then people start getting legitimately hurt, and you're like, all of a sudden the ego comes back and you're like, holy shit, we're gonna die. People are dying. We have to come back to reality. And you have tens of thousands of people who don't know what's going on.
Well, can you imagine being in the middle of that 50,000 crowd and then suddenly like you can't breathe or you're not able to move more than like a foot in any direction. How are you supposed to get out?
Have
what if there was like a shooting or something?
No, have you
get out?
Well, you bring that up. That's what the Las Vegas shooting. The majority of the people who died in the Las Vegas shooting were stampeded. It wasn't because they were shot. I mean, it's insane. Have you ever looked up when not Lollapalooza? What was the big? Was it Riot Fest? What was huge back in the day in the 90s? Was it Riot Fest that was the big one that would, that like
Warped Tour?
That Rage Against the Machine would play, and I mean, and Metallica. I mean, it would just be
maybe
a
Riot
field
Fest.
Of humans. Yeah. And
are these some visuals you found, Bryce?
These are the artist that makes his visuals.
Makes Travis Scott's visuals.
Yeah.
I mean, the shit's cool.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything that you were talking about specifically, but
But like,
no, I'm talking about he had it was a whole structure that was built that was just this giant portal-looking thing.
But at Riot Fest, people would talk about like we would be on one side of the festival and we needed to get to the other, and the only way you get up to the other side was the crowd surf.
This thing?
No, that's the entrance.
No, I was on the stage.
Okay. I'll try to find
people would crowd surf. They would literally just pass people along. It would be like ants, like going on top of people to get to the other side. I mean, it's stupid. I mean, there's a reason why like a lot of those festivals don't happen anymore, because people are like, this is dumb. Like it's $7 for a water. You have people dying from heat exhaustion, passing out. You can't even get
there. It is.
Yeah, look at that shit. The energy though that fucking thing would be.
We have to acknowledge that visuals and lights and sound harness and transport energy to masses of people who are all geared to that.
If you're Travis Scott in that on that stage, I mean, you feel like God.
Yeah.
You feel like God.
You kind of do take on a bit of the qualities of God. Like, you control natural things like visuals. Like, you control people's energy.
You're creating an environment.
You're yelling at people to fucking, like, kill each other. And then people get fucking rowdy and people start dying. It's insanity. But, yeah, I mean, hearts go out to everyone who's, been hurt and who's passed away. I mean, I imagine how many loved ones are so hurt that, that their fucking kid was just like, I want to go to a concert, and ended up never coming home. And horrendous, but
probably it was teenagers too. Like, there was someone who was, I think, 14.
Yeah, 14 was the youngest.
14 was the youngest who died.
Died at a Travis Scott concert. Horrendous. What are we gonna do? Well, let's move on to a not as sad topic. Let's make fun of the president, please.
That in times of, like I said, we're on hospice. It's okay to make fun of this guy who should be on hospice, who's got fucking. His brains are melting out of his head.
Oh, I love this. Poll shows Democrats want to replace Biden on the ballot in 2024. I'll look at why. Hey, they don't even want to get through the season. They don't even want to get... They were like, this is dumb. Let's go down. Biden average approval rating stands at about 43%, which is a number Donald Trump didn't reach for the vast majority of his presidency. George W. Bush spent most of his second term below 40%, and Barack Obama was at the 40s most of his tenure. That said, however, Biden remains politically viable. There is often a difference between approval and a belief that the politician is the best option, and a poll from Marist College shows a significant disconnect on that front when it comes to Biden and the Democratic Party. The NPR PBS NewsHour Marist poll shows Democrats approve of Biden 85% to 10%. The kind of partisan loyalty we've come to expect from such polls, even when presidents' fortunes are down. But the poll also asks telling the question about just how much Democrats would like to see Biden run again in 2024. When asked whether Democrats have a better chance of winning the presidency in 2024 if Joe Biden is the party's nominee or if someone else is the party's nominee, Democrats are split 41% to 41%. Yeah, that's not good, man. When almost half of your party doesn't even like the guy that you chose, what are we doing? Well, this is what happens when you have a clown show as your presidential election, when everyone is just trying to like go viral on Twitter. I mean, I would really like to see Joe Biden have like a TikTok account and start doing like content with Charlie D'Amelio. But here's the problem though. I mean, he would start dancing and like lip syncing the words, and then like maybe start talking about his what his senatorship during like segregation was like. Who knows? I mean, the man, like he fell asleep at the climate change event. That was funny.
Knocked. He was zonked.
He
was talking about something the other day. I don't even know. I saw a clip of it. He was saying that when he was like mixing time together. He was saying he would take like the train home when he was running for president to see his kids and his wife.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was like, wait.
He's lost. Well, because here's the thing. I think it's appropriate to have him as president because it's very clear that this country, the person we put at the top, has like an actual hand up their ass, and they're a little puppet, and it's a lot easier when that puppet really can't talk. It's a lot easier when that puppet can't make a lot of cohesive thought, or they need to, like, people forget Donald Trump was on so many amphetamines during his presidency.
And he had the gift of gab.
His
words actually like did things.
What is that? Sleepy Joe Biden taking a nap. I mean, look, the Fox News thinks like they're like the smartest news source ever because they showed it and not like didn't add like anything to it. But this conference is one of the most important, hilarious. I mean,
his name is Sleepy Joe. It's hilarious.
It's Sleepy Joe.
I don't know. I always go back to what Melania Trump wore on her dress. I really don't care. Do you?
Really don't care.
I like that, dude. I kind of like agree with her on that one.
I really don't care. Do you? But it's just this is where we're at. We got a man with dementia. Second time in a row, not in a row, but second time in U.S. history where we had a president who sleep. I mean, can we agree? Can we stop having presidents in their 80s? I mean, how old is he? Is he? Oh, he's either 79 or almost 80.
He is I think he's like 77, 78, but he's a little younger than Bernie Sanders.
78.
Let's knock it off. Okay, here we go. If your average expectancy of life ends at 75, you can't run if you're older than that. You can't.
Yeah, and that just seems like a hazard thing,
Because what are they giving him? He looks old. Like, dude, he looks like he should be retired. He should be at home, living the rest of his life out, and going to fucking Ted Nugent concerts. I don't know. Like, he should be doing something else. This is boring. He shouldn't be the president. To be fair, Donald Trump shouldn't have been the president because he was also fucking 80. Like, at least with Obama, he was he was young for a president.
I think he was like 41.
That's good.
And he was like 42, 43, I think.
That.
And I mean, that's a solid age. That's when you still have your
40's
wits.
Good.
47 in 2008.
That's good. Let's do it. I would have been more fine with 42, but 47's all right. Yeah. That's not bad. If your age, you shouldn't be. First of all, why are people? If the age of retirement in this country is like 68, why should you still be a politician after that? Like, if the workforce goes, you shouldn't be here anymore. You should go home. Hey, wrap it up. Why should you be in charge in some of the most important offices in the world? Like, we're not even talking about the country. We're talking about one of the most important positions in the entire world. And that goes for, the minority majority leaders. That goes for the Speaker of the House. That goes for the president, the vice president, fucking everybody. It goes to everybody. If you're over the retirement age, why? First of all, aren't your ideas a little old at that point? I mean, when you're...
we're talking... People were even saying this when Sanders was running. His ideas weren't that old, but he was like 72, 73 or something when he was running, and I feel like that does have something to do with it, but at the same time, it's just the way that a person that age communicates and the people that they respect when they communicate, like the people they have in mind when they're making their decisions and are making their points. They don't really. It doesn't straight up connect with people our age, like this, and we feel weird thinking like, oh, this old guy like really gets us. We were in a weird space when people were like in love with Bernie Sanders.
Yeah,
and it was like we were like reminiscing almost, like we really hoped that he was like the ideal image of what an older man should be in this country, of like what we want our grandparents to feel like. We want them to sympathize with like what the young people feel.
I wish Bernie Sanders was my grandpa. I hate at Thanksgiving that I can't bring up certain topics because then they get a little racy. Like that's what that's what all these kids are talking about. They're like, yeah, I like my grandparents, but when we sit down and we got the news on and BLM comes up, it gets a little and that's what happens. But like, to be fair, Joe Biden was in politics during like horrendous racial tension and didn't do anything about it. He wasn't like a trailblazer by any means. Bernie Sanders, there's a picture of him in the march with Martin Luther King. Joe Biden was like raising like his sons so that they could like sleep with each other's wives and do like meth and fight in the military. I don't know.
Like go to the Ukraine and get
go to Ukraine, do some little under the table deals, get a few mil. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's got to get a few mil every once in a while. Like that's what's great about I love and. This is the problem when you have the Donald Trump presidency is because the bar gets low when you talk to moderate Democrat boomers about, hey, by the way, the guy that you really like, his family is the same way. And they go, yeah, but it's not like a Trump. And it's like, don't vote. I look at them and I go, your right to vote should be taken away. Like everyone's talking about like voter accessibility. We're doing a horrible job of what we got. Like we can't even fucking figure that out. Like, do you remember how, listen, this is dumb. Like I'm so excited. I really hope, I have to be honest with you, and maybe people will be mad at me at this. You know who I hope he runs in 2024. And you know who I'm not talking about Joe Biden.
Talking about Travis Scott. That's what I want.
I want him to come back.
And I will vote for him when he comes back.
I don't, because you know what? Fuck this country. Like, look, the fact that he has the fact that Donald Trump has the ability to come back in 2024, and there's so many people that are so excited for it.
And so many people who are just as excited, but in like a ravenous, violent way. And are like, we might have to like cut off all of our family and this happens.
Dude.
He could do it.
It would be, here's the thing. People would be like, why are you hoping that this racist fascist comes back? I was like, because you're not going to do anything. And it's kind of funny. Like, I kind of want you to be angry again. Because, like, everyone, now everyone, a bunch of liberals and progressives have changed their tune. They're like, well, we never liked Joe Biden. I'm like, well, who did you vote for? I'm like, well, that's different. I'm like, listen, man, just stop partaking in the system and just try a different route. You talk about local politics so much, but the moment that the fucking midterms and the presidency comes up, everyone's foaming out of their mouth because they think the country's about to end. How about you get in the mindset, the real mindset, that it's already over? Why don't you get in the mindset that it's already over? And that it actually doesn't matter if Donald Trump runs again, and it doesn't matter if Joe Biden runs again. It doesn't matter if anyone runs again, because you have everyone going to Glasgow for the COP26 talking about climate change. You have the UK who wants to do all this shit, and it's wonderful. Climate change is a big deal. But you know what? Everyone's trying to figure out this problem within the box of the current system, of like capitalism and having a criminal class of people. These people are criminals. Donald Trump's a criminal. Joe Biden's a criminal. They're all criminals. They make money off of the pain of the American people. They make money off of the pain of people in other countries. They make money off of war. They make money off of big pharma. They make money off of the prison system. They don't care. So stop acting like me saying, not that people are me saying, I think it would be funny if Donald Trump ran again, that's the most horrendous thing ever. Because the most horrendous thing ever is every day in this country. It's just our baseline.
And we need to stop pretending that like we haven't all come to the same understanding that that's the reality, that like we don't have a real democratic system for electing leaders. Like we don't actually, but we've talked about it so much, and the content that you see online is already in that. It already has the information. People already mostly believe that. Like there's not like my sister's 29,
right?
And she's Democrat. Like she's liberal. She voted for Biden and them. But at the same time, she often talks to me about how corrupt the system is, and like she talked like some really fucked up things. I mean, she had like tons of loans that like were like that. Like it catches up on you. Right. Like it was hard for her to find certain work. I mean, she was a woman working in a legal office, and like she saw some like just the really like horrendous shit that people would do when they have certain positions of power, and like how there's so many more problems other than who's president, what party it is, are they legit?
Right.
But then she makes such a solid effort to vote and to make people want to vote for this to engage in the same system that is perpetuating the unreality that we live in.
It's
a hallucination. We're really hallucinating right now.
So boring. It is so embarrassing.
I just try to make you upset a little bit.
Bryce, I'm gonna offend you, Bryce, but that's okay. But I'm not coming at you. But like I thought like people who really got on like the AOC train and the Ilhan Omar, the squad.
The squad.
Whenever I see people who have like the squad sit, I'm like, enough. Can we? It's so boring, and they're so clearly like. First of all, did you see like
clearly
Ilhan Omar talking about like the police
Jokers.
in her district in Minnesota? And by the way, like Ilhan's district in Minnesota, like the crime in the area has increased like everywhere else in the country. And she's going up on stage and she's like, "This is the police's fault." It's like maybe it's like, hey, maybe it's the pigsty that we have in Washington D.C. Maybe it's the fact that we're just talking about changing things and no one actually does anything. And it's not like the sad thing is like it's not even their fault, but they feed into ideology and talking points that are just as not helpful. Like people who really
we're saying that people are still, it's the fault in a way of the people who hold such a contradiction in their head that
actually can you bring up the article about how Minnesota voted to change the police department to the community service, like what they wanted, what a lot of like liberals wanted, and it failed. The vote failed.
Yeah.
Because guess what? You gotta listen. If you're gonna live in a city, in a state that has a lot of rules on who can have a gun and who can protect themselves, and if you shoot somebody, if someone's in your store and one, like here's the thing. This is what people don't get. If someone has a gun and tries to rob you in your store, in your house, if you shoot them and they turn around and you shoot them again in that moment, one of those bullets go in their back, you go to jail. You broke the rules. Doesn't matter that they had a gun and were threatening your life, because the moment that they leave, that they make an attempt to leave, you're in trouble.
They could have been running into the other room. You know what
it's
I mean?
just like that's what we live in. And it's like, okay, so we're gonna punish people trying to defend themselves in a moment where someone's pointing a gun at them. I mean, where's your head?
There's no politics in that moment.
No!
Like, there's absolutely none.
Look at Minneapolis voters reject disbanding police in wake of George Floyd murder. Look at the police system needs to be changed. There doesn't need to, like, Kenosha's dealing with the Kyle Rittenhouse trials. There's a fucking, we're finding out that during the trial that the FBI had a drone at 8,000 feet recording everything that's happening, and nobody's talking about that.
Yeah,
they had a military presence there without talking about it. Listen, that's not good. The police shouldn't have military-grade technology going down the street with Bearcats, using, like, audio technology, the being ringing in their ears and stuff like that. You know, we shouldn't have heat ray guns, which we have. We have, like, heat ray guns. They have, like,
sound guns, heat guns that can... It's for like, riot control, shit like that.
That's not good.
It's excessive to say that, like, it's weird.
It's like a ray that, when it points at you, it boils the water molecules on your skin and makes it feel like you're burning.
Can we agree?
That's kind of cool. Oh, my God. That's impressive.
Can we agree, though? That's a dystopia. No, keep it up.
Yeah.
I want to talk about it. Here's the thing. So here we go. With all precincts reporting and tallies, more than 56% of voters rejected a ballot asking residents. It wasn't 46. It wasn't like 56 to 44. It was like 56 to like 41. Look, I get it. The police force needs to change. They need to be demilitarized. They obviously need different training. There obviously needs to be some sort of sensitivity training. It's not good. But guess what? If you live in a city and someone comes to your house and wants to kill you, you're calling the police. You're calling the police. Who the fuck are you going to call? And what are you going to do? Like, this is another conversation no one's having. When you get rid of the police, the state has the power. All right? That's what the police is. It's their human power, right? When you get rid of the police, you create a power vacuum. And the people who replace that are going to be a lot worse than the police. Though, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of racial injustice with the police. And that needs to change. There's a lot of racial injustice with the prison system. That needs to change. I'm going on record here. It's not good. It's not good. But I'm going to be honest with you. The resource officer in the high schools isn't the problem. You know what I mean?
Except when he flirts with girls. But that's a
whole different thing. Listen, I'm trying to make a serious point here. Listen, it's not good that like we blame a lot of police for like how they deal with like mental health issues. This whole country doesn't know how to deal with mental health issues. No one's addressed it. We don't know how to do it. For years, it was okay to just people sign people's life away and stick them in an asylum. Like we thought that was okay at some point, and then after Republicans were like, we shouldn't be paying for this anymore, we just let everyone out on the street, and we didn't know what to do with them. And it's just like like the police, like everything else, it's just another sign of how we actually don't know how to do any of it. We actually
any of this
don't know how to coordinate a country.
We don't know how to keep politics in check. We don't know how to teach people about the intricacies of law, of human affairs. Like we don't really know how to create a general understanding of that.
We don't know
so that because then when people don't, it like you said, there's a power vacuum that can crop up. There's also an information vacuum that is filled by people often worse than the school system that tends to be pretty lackluster.
And then we have a problem, and then people get mad about critical race theory. It's like, okay, critical race theory is good to learn about. We should learn about the history of America and the shit that we've done and the racial nuance of a lot of things and the effects that we're still dealing with them, right? But at the same time, we don't even know how to do that, because I'm telling you right now, you go to, I know there's people who listen who've been to college and have been in those critical race theory classes. Some of those professors have no idea what the fuck they're teaching. They really
just
don't.
How to teach it.
They don't know, and they do make it where they try to make white people feel bad for like, and it's just these kids who don't know what the fuck's going on, and some of them genuinely want to learn and be like, how do we fix this problem? There's some professors who don't know how to do that.
They're like, stop being white.
Right.
And you're like, what does that mean?
Right. Well, you have, and
like, what does like anything like that mean?
That's not in critical race theory. That conversation's not in there. But people start putting their own dialogue and ideology in this bullshit, and we get nowhere. And then you give Fox News 7 bits, and then you get people that get to go to goddamn school board meetings, and they look like the same people who are arguing for segregation. It's like, we don't know. Nobody knows what they're doing. We like, crime is skyrocketing in this country. We've seen there's cities in this country that have their crime rates, their murder rates have gone up 200%. I mean, we're hitting a really interesting point. And we have a president who can't talk. We have a president who's not addressing any of these issues. They have a hard time getting the goddamn infrastructure bill. Half the shit no one even wants. We don't even know what it means. You read the bill and it's like, well, hey, what happened to student loan forgiveness? Well, what happened to expanding Medicare?
We had to put that one aside.
What happened to expanding Medicare? It's like, well, we're trying to do what the best is in our means. It's like, well, hey, I'm just wondering, maybe you would have the money for all these things if, when there was a really bad economic downturn during a pandemic, let's say, you didn't cut everyone a bullshit check and bail out all the companies in America and made them millions. You made them billions of dollars. And then at the end of the day, you don't even tax it. So the money that you give these companies, you don't even tax.
It doesn't even go back into the system.
I wonder why our communities are falling apart. I wonder why everyone's so angry. Why is everyone so mad on Twitter? Why are people charging the Capitol? Why are people charging the courthouses? Why is there guns everywhere? Why can no one?
Why are people flocking to the tens of thousands at a concert and killing each other? All of these things?
Why is every city so many of these things can be answered. Going back to the original conversation of making fun of people who are worried about Donald Trump running again, or that they would be even offended by the thought of someone saying it would be funny. It's over. The party is over. Like, wait it out. Because eventually, and Tim Dillon said it best. Tim Dillon said it best. This country is like a high school party where your parents are out of town and you think they won't be up to the morning. They won't be back to the morning. It's 11 o'clock. Everyone's having a good time. There's beer everywhere, and you hear a car pull up, and you look outside, and it's your parents. And you know what? You're so worried that you're going to get caught during the party. But when your parents are there,
you look around. There's too much mess. You can't possibly clean it up before they walk in the door.
You can't get everyone out the house. You can't clean up the condoms or the spills, the alcohol, everything.
There's
the
just food shit everywhere,
and you just feel a relief come over you because you're kind of happy that you got caught, because now there's no more anxiety of what's going to happen. The answer is here, and the answer is here. We've got caught. Our parents are in the driveway of this country, and your parents' names are Xi Jinping.
And the CCP.
And Alibaba.
And
Huawei.
And Facebook Meta. And DARPA. And ID 2020. And
they're here. Bill Gates is at the door. He's knocking.
William Gates.
He knocks the door, and you open it because you open it with shame, but relief, and you open the door, and Bill just goes, "Hi, son. Daddy's home."
That's a great, because that's like the opposite. Like what people will say is like people want solutions, but they don't want to compromise anything. But you can't. There are no solutions. There's only compromises at this point.
There's no compromise too, because when we're talking about compromising anything, we're talking about compromising the longevity of our lives, and we're talking about the compromising of our well-being and our ability to survive in this country. There's no compromise. There's no left and right wing. There's no Democrats or Republicans. What people need to wake up and realize is that it's you and whoever agrees with you in that pile who know it's over versus the whole thing. It's you versus the giant Goliath beast it's like this big worm with a big mouth on the front of it, and it's got these hands, and there's this big metallic mechanical thing with people just being eaten up constantly in it.
Yeah, I mean, around its neck is this jar that holds our entire universe, and it's
swings,
in a bottle.
It dangles, and it's
like a pendulum. It just kind of whoosh.
And you stand there. And for a lot of people, they feel like they stand there alone. But in reality, the thing is that you actually are there with a lot of other people. But they don't put those people on the news. They don't put those people on the podiums. And those people who come around and try to run for office, they shadow ban. They blacklist them from They did that to Ron Paul. They did that to Bernie Sanders. And they do that to everybody else. You can't just run for the mayor of New York. You can't just run for the governor of New York. You got to be connected. You got to be in a crime family. You have to have money. You have to have financial ties. You can't just be the president. You have to go to Yale and be in the CIA like a good boy. You got to follow the rules. You know what I mean? There's no more. There's no American dream. Not everybody can make it. They decide who wants to make it. That's the thing. That's the other thing. You know, people. That's what people didn't understand with Jeffrey Epstein. You know, everyone woke up to that. They're like, it's crazy. You talk to moderate Democrats about Jeffrey Epstein, but you know what they really don't get, because they watch the Netflix documentary, they listen to the Netflix documentary on Jeffrey Epstein. They're like, I can't believe Les Wexner got fooled by Jeffrey Epstein. I can't believe Jeffrey Epstein fooled everyone to coming to his little island. Can you believe that Bill Clinton was fooled to coming on his plane 27 times? Because they can't fathom the fact that actually, they're all in on it. And the whole thing where they go, conspiracy theories aren't real because it's hard to make everyone keep a secret. And it's like, actually, they do keep secrets very well because they're all blackmailed into doing it. And at the same time, the moment that anyone finds out the secret, they don't even believe it, because they can't believe that the United States government would take a child, rob them of their childhood, and try to make them into a intelligent gaining machine. You know what I mean? No one can think about, these things like with 007 and Bourne and all these things, these spies and stuff. It's like those people are real, but they're taken from a young age and they're made into demons. And you can't fathom.
They're doing that, and they're not always the good guys.
No,
they're not.
You can't fathom that a country would take human life and train it into being this machine, this immoral, this amoral machine that when it's told what to do, it goes. When it's asked to jump, it asks how high. When they ask to infiltrate corporations in America, they go, which ones? How many? Who we getting involved? You can't fathom that. Just like you can't fathom the fact that Donald Trump is a symptom of this system. Yeah. He wasn't. These people didn't just come out of the woodwork. This is what happens when people feels like their jobs are all going
you forget
away.
Where he come from. He came from Hollywood. He came out of that machine. You know, but that's the thing. We're at the point now where, like, we're already talking about 2024, and that's literally 2 years away.
Who gives a fuck?
And I'm sitting here like I mean, I can't wait for like the next few years down the line. Like, I'm excited to see where my life goes. I want to do shit.
Right.
I'm like, I still want to go fucking hang out in New York. Like, I want to go fucking to Tokyo. I want to go see all this shit. And people are like, no, you can't feel excited about the future because what if Donald Trump is president again? I'm like, can you just die already? Like, can you just call it a day and stop bothering me?
Right.
Can you stop bothering everybody? Can you instead do what the rest of us are trying to do, which is find a way to get ourselves through it? And like most of us, you know, I mean, we're thinking of meditating or like working out or making music, doing a podcast, like smoking, fucking like sitting down, like reading, trying to learn shit that we want to learn. We're not yet fully allowed to feel like that's okay to do, to live the life like that.
Can we make a PSA?
Sure.
Let's make a public service announcement. Really, can I speak to the camera? Is the camera on me? Will you be able to do that? Listen.
This one is.
Yeah.
Listen, people. Listen. I'm going to take the mic off for this one. Listen.
Go walk up to it. Stand up to it.
No, don't.
The headphones. Never mind. Never mind.
Spill the cup. Listen to me. Listen to me.
You're not in the frame.
Am I in the frame? When you go to sleep and you have nightmares, they're nothing to what the real world is.
The sleep paralysis.
Everyone likes to think that when they die, that, you know, heaven's not really real, that heaven on earth is real, but really, you went to hell. You're in hell. You're in my hell. We're in Jeffrey Epstein's piss stream. Okay? He's alive. I got him in my basement.
He's moving with us.
I can see myself. Listen, people! I'm bigger than fucking Joe Rogan. There's no more sanity anymore. We don't need it. We don't even need this. We're done. I'm holding the microphone now. Jarod, it's all coming to an end. What?
We're past 60.
What?
Yeah, wrap it up.
We didn't even talk about anything.
We were warming up for this.
This was a warm-up. We're really past 60? Mm-hmm. So we'll end it with that note. People, Travis Scott and Donald Trump will be on the Republican ticket in 2024. And it will also be Joe Biden and Chris D'Elia. Thank you.
That's a tough one.
Also, on the record, I don't like AOC. I don't know how you would have.
You said. Wait, are we recording still?
Yeah. No, AOC's a fraud. I don't. Squad. Fuck them.
You were happy. No, you were. Yesterday, you said that you were excited for them for a little bit.
In the beginning, when they were like the Justice Democrats and they were,
we kind of. I think I even kind of thought that I was like, who?
I was making fun of you without knowing you then as well.
Mm.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. No, fuck them, dude.
Yeah, fuck them.
You know what? You know what? The only cool person left in this world is
Steve Bannon. Shouldn't I have said that? Who is it, Cade?
It's Joe Rogan, and we're done.